Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. Tyreek Hill is back in the spotlight again, and this time it's not just for his jaw-dropping plays on the football field. The Miami Dolphins wide receiver, known for his blistering speed and electric personality, has already set his sights on a brand new challenge. After a planned showdown with Olympic gold medalist Noah Lyles fell through, Hill has turned his attention to a different kind of opponent, one from the world of digital fame. That's right, Tyreek is now calling out none other than the viral YouTuber and streamer IshoSpeed. It's a matchup that nobody saw coming, but now that it's on the table, fans can't stop talking about it. The call-out came via social media, where Hill didn't hold back in his message for Speed. With the summer dragging on and NFL training camp still weeks away, this unexpected rivalry is giving fans exactly the kind of buzz they didn't know they needed. The context here is important. Hill had been gearing up to race Noah Lyles, one of the fastest humans alive, but the event was canceled due to personal reasons that were never fully disclosed. That didn't slow Hill down one bit, literally or figuratively. Earlier this month, he clocked a scorching 10.15 seconds in the 100 meters, showing that he's still got world-class wheels even as he dominates on Sundays. That performance seemed to light a fire under him, and now he's looking for the next big challenge. In steps IshoSpeed, a content creator known for his unpredictable energy, chaotic streams, and recently for dabbling in athletics. After watching one of Speed's races, Hill had some choice words and a bold invitation. He said, "Speed, once again, you're ducking me," throwing down the gauntlet and daring the streamer to meet him on the track. This isn't just a casual invite. This is Tyreek Hill, all-pro athlete, publicly challenging a YouTuber to a race. The entertainment value alone is off the charts. Now let's talk numbers. IshoSpeed has claimed he once ran the 100-meter dash in 10.5 seconds. For context, that's incredibly fast, almost unbelievably so for someone without formal training. Hill recently ran his 10.15, and while that may seem like a small difference on paper, in the world of sprinting, it's a chasm. For even more perspective, Lyles won Olympic gold in Paris with a time of 9.79. The difference between Hill and Speed is almost identical to the difference between Hill and Lyles. That makes Hill the perfect middle ground, a sort of gatekeeper between elite professional sprinters and amateur track enthusiasts. But of course, this isn't just about numbers. It's about ego, pride, entertainment, and the blending of to massive audiences, NFL fans and YouTube followers. It's about what happens when sports collide with internet culture, and Tyreek knows exactly how to capitalize on that. The potential race would have been the crown jewel at Fanatics Fest, an annual extravaganza that mashes up sports, pop culture, and celebrity appearances. While the actual showdown didn't happen, Hill still dominated the scene with his charisma and candid commentary. He took the mic like a seasoned entertainer, lighting up the room with bold statements and headline-worthy soundbites. One of the biggest moments came when he addressed the situation with his teammate JALEN RAMSEY. Ever since April, rumors have swirled about the Dolphins moving on from the star cornerback. But Hill wasn't having it. "I'm getting Ramsey back in a Dolphins jersey," he proclaimed with confidence. This wasn't just locker room talk. It was a public vow, one that sent waves through the Dolphins fan base and beyond. Tyreek isn't just a receiver, he's becoming the voice of this Miami team, unafraid to speak his mind on and off the field. That candid attitude extended to another target, the Buffalo Bills. Since Hill joined the Dolphins, the Bills have been a defensive thorn in his side, holding him to just 58 receiving yards per game. That's a far cry from his usual production, and Hill clearly hasn't forgotten. "Whenever we play the Bills, those guys typically play cover for because they're a bunch of B****s," he said, drawing gasps and laughs in equal measure. Say what you want about Tyreek, but he never dodges a question or bites his tongue. It's that same unfiltered style that makes him so magnetic to fans and media alike. He brings drama, flair, and unpredictability, three key ingredients for any off-season storyline worth following. With no real Dolphins news expected until training camp begins in late July, Hill is essentially running his own show, keeping Miami and the NFL as a whole firmly in the public eye. Of course, the big question remains, will IshoSpeed accept the challenge? He's no stranger to spectacle, and a race against Tyreek Hill would easily be his biggest crossover moment yet. Speed already raced Noah Lyles once before in a 50-meter dash and, predictably, got smoked, but the fact that he even lined up against an Olympic champion speaks volumes about his willingness to put himself out there. A match against Hill, someone just slightly more human than Lyles, might be a more realistic and still entertaining battle. Social media is already ablaze with theories, memes, and mock-up race posters. Fans are picking sides, drawing comparisons, and hyping up a showdown that, as of now, exists only in theory. But in today's digital landscape, all it takes is one tweet or one viral clip to turn theory into reality. If Speed's pride is anywhere near as big as his YouTube following, he won't back down from this. What's fascinating about this entire saga is what it says about the evolution of modern sports entertainment. Gone are the days when athletes simply trained in silence during the off-season. Today, they're media personalities, social magnets, and influencers in their own right. Tyreek Hill understands this better than most. He's not just playing the game, he's playing the audience. Whether it's challenging streamers to races, taking playful shots at rivals, or making bold declarations about teammates, he's crafting a narrative that keeps him in the headlines. And with each new development, he's blending the boundaries between traditional sports and new media, between the gridiron and the algorithm. This isn't just an athlete passing time until kickoff. This is a masterclass in brand building, attention grabbing, and staying relevant in an age where everyone's fighting for screen time. Meanwhile, the Dolphins organization has to love what they're seeing. Even without official games, their biggest star is keeping the team in the spotlight. In a summer filled with trade rumors, contract negotiations, and coaching speculation, it's refreshing to have something fun and unpredictable stealing the headlines. Fans love it. The media eats it up, and Hill is thriving in the center of the storm, whether or not the race ever materializes. He's already won in the court of public opinion. He's entertaining, he's outspoken, and most importantly, he's fast. In an NFL where personality can be just as important as production, Tyreek is checking all the boxes. His actions off the field might not get him any touchdowns, but they're winning over fans and building buzz in a way few players can. It's also worth noting how this kind of challenge speaks to Hill's competitive spirit. Most guys would be satisfied just being one of the fastest in the league, but not Tyreek. He's constantly testing himself, constantly looking for new opponents and new arenas to conquer. It's the kind of mindset that separates good players from great ones. Even if racing a YouTuber might seem silly to some, for Hill, it's just another test. Another moment to prove that he's still at the top of his game, even in the off-season. It also shows a willingness to engage with a younger audience, one that might not even follow football religiously but knows who Speed is. It's a clever way to expand his reach and tap into new fandoms. Every step, every challenge, is another chance for Tyreek Hill to show he's more than just a wide receiver, he's a showman. In the end, whether or not we get to see Hill and Speed line up on a track, this story is already a win for everyone involved. It's a perfect blend of sport, spectacle, and social media energy. It's got stakes, drama, humor, and personality, and best of all, it's happening at a time when football fans are starved for excitement. Tyreek Hill is proving that you don't need pads and a helmet to make headlines, you just need a mic, a little swagger, and a whole lot of speed. So we wait. Will Isho Speed step up? Will we see a full-on race with cameras, commentary, and bragging rights on the line? If so, it might just be the most entertaining 10 seconds of the offseason. And if not, well, Tyreek will just find someone else to chase. After all, for a guy this fast, there's always another race to run, still with us. Then show some love, hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? It's the kind of whisper that turns into a roar in the NFL world. The type of late off-season buzz that ignites speculation from locker rooms to living rooms. Sources close to this situation, though none officially confirmed, are hinting at what could be one of the most seismic shakeups of the year. The Los Angeles Rams might have pulled off a stunning coup, allegedly stealing superstar cornerback JALEN RAMSEY back from the Miami Dolphins. That's right, the same Ramsey who became a cornerstone in the Dolphins secondary could be packing his bags once again, heading west to return to the very team he helped bring a Super Bowl to just a few seasons ago. If there's truth to this, the NFC West may have just experienced its biggest tremor in years. And you better believe every team in that division is feeling the aftershocks already. Now, let's pump the brakes for a second. Nothing is official, and this might all be smoke. But the smoke is thick, and it's coming from credible enough sources that fans, analysts, and insiders are all leaning in closer to their screens, refreshing their feeds, waiting for that Woy-style tweet to make it real. The idea of Ramsey Leaving Miami, where he was expected to be a foundational piece of a playoff contending defense, is already enough to turn heads, but to hear that he could be headed back to Los Angeles, to a Rams franchise that's been hungry for defensive firepower since Aaron Donald's retirement, is the stuff of Hollywood blockbusters. If this is indeed true, the Rams aren't just retooling, they're revving up for another run. And they're doing it with swagger, attitude, and a very familiar face. JALEN RAMSEY returning to the Rams would mark not only a personal full circle moment for the All-Pro corner, but would also instantly shift the balance of power in the NFC West. Think about it, the 49ers are the current top dogs, but Seattle and Arizona have been quietly stacking talent, and the Rams were presumed to be in somewhat of a reset phase. Bringing back Ramsey changes that calculus entirely. It's not just about the on-field talent, which, let's be real, is elite. It's about the message this sends. The Rams aren't done, not by a long shot. They're reminding everyone that Hollywood loves a sequel, especially when the original was a Super Bowl winning smash hit. Ramsey, with his trademark confidence and shutdown skills, fits perfectly into that narrative. This could be the return that reignites LA's defensive identity and sets up a blockbuster showdown for the division crown. If you're a Dolphins fan, this rumor stings, no question about it. Ramsey was brought in to help Miami elevate its defense to elite status, pairing him with rising talent and giving the Fins that one lockdown corner they needed to truly compete with the AFC's best. So, the idea that he might be heading back west even before delivering a full, healthy season in Miami is borderline gut-wrenching. Some insiders speculate that Miami could be looking to free up cap space, especially with Tua's looming contract situation and other defensive investments, but still, moving on from a player like Ramsey, especially under the radar like this, would signal a massive shift in priorities. Whether this was initiated by the Rams, the player, or the front office remains unclear, but the whispers are getting louder, and the implications could ripple through both conferences. The Rams, for their part, have kept things relatively quiet this offseason, until now, that is, after letting go of several veterans and focusing on building through the draft. Many assumed they were in a soft rebuild, perhaps looking to compete again in 2025 or beyond. But bringing back a player of Ramsey's caliber suggests something different entirely. It suggests urgency. It suggests belief in Matthew Stafford's arm, in Sean McVay's offensive genius, and in the young defensive nucleus that could blossom with a proven leader in the secondary. Ramsey, even at 29, is still among the league's most feared corners. His return to Los Angeles wouldn't just be a personnel move, it'd be a statement. A rallying cry that the Rams still see themselves as contenders, not just for the playoffs, but for another shot at the Lombardi. But let's not pretend this move doesn't carry risk. Ramsey missed significant time with injuries in Miami, and while he returned with flashes of brilliance, durability is a fair concern. The Rams are no strangers to betting big on talent. We've seen it time and time again with them, but after a few years of roster volatility, one has to wonder if this is a smart gamble or a nostalgic leap. Still, Ramsey's familiarity with McVay's system, his existing rapport with remaining staff, and his larger-than-life persona could make this transition smoother than most. He wouldn't be learning a new defense from scratch, he'd be sliding back into a role he once dominated, with expectations high and the spotlight fully on him. If he can stay healthy, this might not just be a reunion, it could be a redemption arc. Meanwhile, social media has gone into full meltdown mode. Fans from both coasts are firing off reactions, ranging from stunned disbelief to euphoric celebration. Rams fans are already dreaming of pick sixes and sideline snarls. Dolphins fans, not so much. Many are questioning the front office, calling for explanations, demanding transparency. Why trade for him, only to let him walk so soon? Seems to be the echoing sentiment across Miami forums and across the league. Rival teams are watching closely, some with admiration, others with irritation. The NFC West, especially, has been eerily quiet lately, but this potential move shakes the snow globe. If Ramsey returns, matchups against Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, and the rest of the division's elite receivers just got a lot more interesting. There's also the what-if factor looming over this entire story. What if this is all just smoke with no fire? What if someone misread a signal and Ramsey staying put in Miami? That's always a possibility in the silly season of NFL rumors. But the volume, the specificity, and the timing of these reports all suggest there's at least something real going on behind the scenes. It might not be finalized, it might not be public, But deals like this don't leak unless someone wants them to. Maybe it's Ramsey himself trying to force a move. Maybe it's LA floating a trial balloon. Or maybe it's Miami shopping him quietly and someone spilled the beans. In any case, it feels like the calm before a storm, and something tells us this story is far from over. Should this move go through, the Rams instantly become one of the most watchable teams in 2025. Their defense, young, hungry, and now potentially led by Ramsey again, would have the kind of swagger that made them must-see TV during their Super Bowl run. Add in Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and a revitalized offensive line, and suddenly the Rams look like more than just a wild card contender. They look dangerous. The NFC West, already a brutal gauntlet, just became even more of a war zone, and you can bet Kyle Shanahan, Pete Carroll, and even Jonathan Gannon are all scribbling new notes in their game plans. This isn't just a player move. This is psychological warfare. And Ramsey is a general who knows exactly how to get under the skin of opposing offenses. So as we wait for official word, a press release, a tweet, a roster update, the buzz continues to build. Ramsey back. In horns, it's got the internet buzzing, the league watching, and the NFC West trembling just a little. Maybe it's just a rumor. Maybe it falls apart. But maybe, just maybe, the Rams are about to shock the NFL again. And if they do, don't say we didn't warn you. Rivalries aren't just built on history. They're fueled by moments like this. And if Ramsey walks through those doors at Sophie Stadium again, you better believe the fire's back. Stay tuned. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.